I hope you had a good Easter break. Um, don't know if you did any maths or caught up with any maths. I didn't. I barely did anything. Uh, I had a nice break of doing nothing. Uh, I learned how to bake bread, and I've gotten pretty good at it. And I made donuts as well. So maybe if we ever end up back in school, I'll bring everybody in a batch of jam donuts. And if you don't like jam donuts, well, tough, because it's the only thing I'll probably know how to make by then. Who knows actually if we'll be back? Maybe we will be back. Hopefully, for at least a week or two before summer break. The sixth years, I'd say, have to come back in July. Although I wonder how many will come in, especially the class I teach. But sure, we'll see. Okay, so today's video, you can do it in different ways, okay? I'm going to have 4 different sets of sums in the video, okay? They're not attached to anything, they're in this video. And you can work by yourself and then check your answers. So what you can do is you can, when the sums come up, you can pause the video, copy them down into your copy and do them yourself, and then skip forward in the video and check the answers. That would be the quickest way. So if you feel confident and you just need a refresher on how to do it, you can do it that way, or you can work along with me. So you can watch me do a sum, pause it, do the next one yourself, or watch me do 2, pause it, then do the third. That'll be a bit slower, but obviously if you're not sure, definitely do that one. If I'm talking too slowly for you or writing too slow, you can, if you go down to the bottom right of the video, it's somewhere down here. I think on YouTube it's got the little settings, the little cog wheel, and you tap on that and you look for a playback speed. Playback speed. And if you go to 1.75 or even 2, that plays it at double the speed. And sometimes I talk very slow. So when you're playing it at 2, it sounds like I'm actually talking normally. But let's get started, and we are gonna go over simplifying expressions. So when we started doing algebra, this is the first topic we did. So pause it now if you want to go ahead and do these by yourself. If you're not, you can work along with me now. So I'll do the first sum. Here we are simplifying the expression. We're tidying it up. We're seeing if we can make the expression, which is this thing here, smaller. And we can do that by adding terms that are alike or the same. So here we have 4x, so we have a number and then we have the letter, and we have another 4x and we have another 2x. So we can add all these together because each of these numbers is being multiplied by an x. So they're all the same. So 4x plus 4x, that would be 8x, plus 2x, that would be 10x. So we have simplified this expression, and that's the answer for that question. If you want to have a go at the next one, you can pause it now or continue on working with me. So here we have 3y minus 2y plus 7y. So the letters you can see are all the same. It's a y, 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 and there's numbers in front. Except here we have a minus. Now, you can subtract 3 and minus 2. You would get 1y, and then add on plus 7, and you would get 8y. Or you can subtract the 2y from the plus 7, and you get 5y, plus 3y will give you 8y. So it doesn't matter which you do first, you'll get the same answer. Okay, so 3y minus 2y, that gives us 1y. But in maths we could call this y if we wanted to, leave out the 1. But 1y plus 7y, and that will give us 8y. So the answer is 8y. Okay, here the sum is a little bit different. We can see we have an x squared here, here we have an x, here we have an x squared, and here we have an x. We can add the numbers that are in front of the 2x squareds together, because the x squared is the same as this x squared, but we can't subtract minus 2x because it's not the same. So 3x squared, and then let's look at the other x squared, plus x squared. Now if there's no number, it's the same as saying 1x squared. So 3x squared plus 1x squared is 4x squared. And then we have minus 2x and plus 5x. You can see this x and this x same. So minus 2 plus 5x. That would give you plus 3x. And that's your answer. We can't simplify it any further. You can pause it now if you want to have a go at number 4, or work along with me now. 3ab minus 7 plus 5b plus 2. Okay, ab, and then here we have b. So nothing can be done with these two. They're going to stay the same. So we have 3ab plus 5b, but these numbers here, these constants, this number and this number, we can add these. But it'll be minus 7 plus 2. So it's going to be minus 5. And that's our answer. Okay. The next one, 3a minus 3 minus 6a plus 7. All right, let's look for like terms. Here we have 3a and minus 6a. So 3a minus 6a is going to be minus 3a. And then we have the constants. We have the numbers here. Minus 3. And we have plus 7. Minus 3 plus 7 will give us plus 4. So our answer is minus 3a plus 4. The last one, let's look for the like terms. X squared, and then we have numbers here and here. So let's deal with the x squareds first. 7x squared minus 6x squared. That is 1x squared, or x squared. You can just write x squared, and I will be doing that in the next line. And then we have minus 6 plus 5 would be minus 1. Now, our answer is, and I'm going to write it without the 1, x squared minus 1. Because having a 1 in front of the number, or in front of the letter like that, it's the same as having no number at all. And having no number is the same as having a 1 in algebra, okay? So that is simplifying expressions, that's adding and subtracting them. We'll move on now to multiplying. So when you are multiplying expressions like this, do you remember, if you want, you can go on ahead now, pause the video, go on ahead, do the sums, skip forward, check your answers, or you can work along with me. So when we are multiplying these terms, let's look at the first one. We have to multiply this x by this x, and then this x by this 4, and then we have to multiply this 3 by this x, and we have to multiply this 3 by this 4. So let's do that sum now and see what we get. So it's x multiplied by x is x squared, and then x multiplied by 4 is 4x. Because 4x means 4 multiplied by x. So 3 multiplied by x is 3x, that's plus 3x. And then 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, so plus 12. Now, can we simplify this further? Yes, we can. There's no other x squareds, there's only the 1, so that stays the same. But 4x plus 3x gives us 7x. And then the constant is 12. The number all by itself is called a constant. ANS. There's the answer. Now, this sum looks different, but it's the same. 5x will have to be multiplied by both terms. So first it'll be multiplied by the x, and then it'll be multiplied by the 5. So let's do that. 5x multiplied by x is 5x squared, because x multiplied by x is the same as x squared. 5x multiplied by 5. 5 5s are 25, so it would be 25x. Now, that's the answer. We can't simplify it any further. Okay, here we're doing the same thing with both sides, but we have to be careful of minus numbers. But again, the 2x will be multiplied by the x, the 2x will be multiplied by the minus 2, the minus x will be multiplied by the minus 2, and the minus x will be multiplied by the plus 5x. So I'll just change back to black, and we will do these sums. So 2x multiplied by x, that gives us 2x squared, doesn't it? 2x multiplied by minus 2, that's minus 4x. 2 by 2 is 4. That's a minus number, so minus 4x. Now over here, minus x multiplied by minus 2. A minus multiplied by a minus is a plus. Minus x multiplied by minus 2 is plus 2x. And then minus x multiplied by plus 5x, it's a minus multiplied by a plus, so it's a minus. And it's x multiplied by 5x, so it's 5x squared. Now, can we simplify it? Yes, we can. We can simplify these two. 2x squared minus 5x squared. That'll give us minus 3x squared. And then this here, minus 4x plus 2x. That will be minus 2x. So our answer is minus 3x squared minus 2x. I'll just underline the answers there for the lads skipping ahead and just looking at the answers, or the girls. Now, here they haven't drawn out the sum fully, but x plus 2 squared is the same as x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. And now it's the same as over here, okay? We have to multiply each term by the other two terms in the brackets. So it's x multiplied by x and x multiplied by plus 2. So x by x is x squared. X multiplied by 2 is 2x. That's positive, so it's positive 2x. 2 multiplied by x is 2x. And 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. We can simplify that more. X squared stays the same. This is our answer. X squared, there's no other x squared, so it just stays the same. Plus 2x, that's plus 4x, and then plus 4. And that's our answer. Now I'm a bit tight on space, so I'm gonna draw the sum over here. This is the next one. 6x minus 2. And it's squared, so it's being multiplied by itself. So again, 6x minus 2. So again, we're multiplying each term inside the bracket by the other two terms. Draw the little arrows just to make it as a reminder. 6x multiplied by 6x. 6 6s are 36. And it's x by x, so it's x squared. 6x minus 2 is minus 12, because 2 multiplied by 6 is 12. And x, so 6x multiplied by minus 2, minus 12x. Minus 2 multiplied by 6, x, same again, minus 12x. And then minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, it's a minus by a minus, so it's a plus, so it's plus 4. So can we simplify it? Of course we can. A and S equals the 36x squared stays the same. And then we have minus 12x minus 12x. That would be minus 24x. And then we have plus 4. And that's fine. That's simple enough. Okay, our final one, again, we're multiplying each term in the first bracket by both terms in the other bracket. I'm getting lazy and just using one color. So 3x multiplied by 3y. So this is a little different because we're not multiplying an x by an x, we're multiplying an x by a y. So we will end up getting 3 by 3 is 9, And then x by y is xy, because xy in maths and algebra is the same as saying x multiplied by y, because they're beside each other. This means multiplied. 9 multiplied by x and multiplied by y. So 3x multiplied by 3y gave me 9xy. Now 3x multiplied by plus 4, 3 4s are 12, and the x, 3x multiplied by 4. 2 minus 2 multiplied by 3y, so it's a minus multiplied by a plus, so it will be a minus, and 2 by 3 is 6, and it's y. And then finally, minus 2 multiplied by plus 4. That would be a minus number, and 2 by 4 is 8. Can we simplify this any further? Well, this is the only xy I can see, this is the only x I can see, and this is the only y I can see. And this is the only constant. So that must be the most simplified version. So that's the answer. Okay. All right. So here we are evaluating expressions. So when we evaluate expressions, we are substituting a number in for one of the letters or both, and then we are figuring out the sum. So we have the expression here, x plus 3, and if we have x is 5, let's substitute that in. Okay, if x is 5, well then 5 plus 3 equals 8. So that's our answer. That's all we have to do. Now that's a very simple version. If we move on to the next one, we have to substitute 2 in for x here, and it's not as straightforward a swap, because we have 3, and then I'll put a little bracket for the 2, and squared minus 4 and 2. Okay, this is important. When you have 3x squared like this, and you substitute in the 2, the first thing you do is you deal with the indice. Remember, BIMDAS, okay? You deal with indices with this like little squared before you deal with the multiplication, okay? So it's 2 by 2, so it's 2 squared, which is 2 by 2, so it's 4, okay? So it's 3 by 4 minus 4 by 2, 2 4s are 8. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12, minus 8 equals 4. That's our answer. Okay, next one. We have x's and we have y's. We have minus 2 and we have 3. So let's substitute in 3, and it's a minus 2 here, and then minus, and be careful here, we're substituting in a minus 2, but there's a minus in the expression already, so we keep that there, okay, and then it's squared, plus y, and y is 3. We can just substitute that straight in. All right, let's deal with this. 3 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6. Now this is a bit tricky because we have to square this before we look at this minus here. So minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, because that's what squared is, minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, that would be plus 4, okay? That would be plus 4. But this minus out here is going to affect it, and you'll see how in a minute. So minus 6, now this minus, and then we have this plus, they're essentially being multiplied, because if there's no number here, we can assume there's a 1. So minus multiplied by this plus will make it a minus 4. And then we have plus 3. So minus 6 minus 4 is minus 10. Plus 3 is minus 7. So that's a tricky one, because here you could make a mistake. You could ignore this minus, or ignore this one, or when you square it you might get that bit wrong, or when you square it you might forget that this minus turns this plus into a minus. That's where they catch you out, and that's, if you want to get the full marks in a question, you need to be aware of things like that. So anytime you're dealing with substituting in minus numbers, and you'll be doing it in algebra and you'll be doing it in coordinate geometry, You need to be careful and double check it. Okay, so here we have 7x minus 2 divided by 6. And we substitute in 2 for x. I should have given myself more space here. Don't know why I didn't. 7, and we're substituting in 2 minus 2 over 6. So 2 7s are 14. 14 minus 2 is 12 over 6. 12 over 6 is the same as saying 12 divided by 6. So that is 2. So our answer is 2. Now here we're substituting in 3 for x. So it's 3 squared all over 3 minus 1. So first we have to deal with the squared on top, okay? 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 9 over 3 minus 1. 9 over 3 is the same as saying 3, because 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 minus 1 is 2. So our answer is 2. I'm going to mark this as the answer for anyone who is skipping to the end. Okay. Now we have a little bit more complex. When x is equal to minus 6. Okay, so 3 minus 6 minus 4. And then we have minus 6 is being substituted in for the x here. And we have minus 5. All right, 3 multiplied by minus 6 is minus 18. Minus 18. 3 6s are 18. That's a minus by a plus, so it's a minus. And then we have minus 4. And we have minus 6 minus 5. So minus 18 minus 4 is minus 22. And minus 6 minus 5 is minus 11. Now, minus 22 divided by minus 11. That will give us, that goes in twice. 22 divided by 11 is 2. Now it's a positive number. Okay, why is it a positive number? It's negative being divided by negative. We could look at it that way. It's like a negative multiplied by negative, but it's not a multiplied, it's a divided. However, what number would I have to get if I wanted to turn this minus 11 into a 22? What number would I have to use? What number would I have to multiply minus 11 by to get minus 22? It would be 2. I would multiply minus 11 by 2 in order to get minus 22. And remember, multiplication is the opposite of division. Okay, so here we're dividing minus 22 by minus 11. So our answer is 2 plus 2. So if I had minus 6, this is just extra. If I had minus 6 divided by minus 3, I would have 2, wouldn't I? But if I had, what if I had minus 6 divided by 2? How many times would 2 divide into minus 6? It would be minus 3, because we have a positive going into a negative. So we have to, if I wanted a 2 to become a minus 6, I would have to multiply it by a negative number. It's tricky to get your head around this, but once you kind of remember it and you've done it a few times, you'll just know it. And I will be explaining it again many times. Okay, the last one is solving linear equations. And this is the one we just finished doing before the break. And people did this in different ways. I got you to watch the YouTube video, and if you haven't watched that YouTube video, go back to the email that I sent you, the last email that I sent you. And there are 2 YouTube videos to watch by a channel called Maths Antics, and they're very good. They explain it really well, and there's questions there. So go back and look at those. Okay, I'm going to explain it here again, but he explains it much better than I do. So if you want to hang out with me here and try and do these now, brilliant. But if I don't explain it well enough, please go back and watch those other videos because they're really good. And they're the last email I sent you, which would have been early April, I think, or maybe the end of March. Okay, solving linear equations is where we want to find out what x is equal to. Okay, an equation is where we had expressions before, now we have equations. Equations is where we have an equal sign like this, and we have numbers and letters on one side and numbers and letters on the other. Okay, but we want to find out what x is, or we might want to find out what y is. But if we are going to solve it, we have to rearrange the equation. Now, some of you, and I know that I taught it one way before Christmas, but I want you to do it this way from now on because it is the better way to do it. Some of you would have learned that, okay, well, if I want x by itself, I move the minus 3 across and it becomes a plus 3. Yeah? I want you to think of it differently, okay? In maths, if you want to do something to an equation, you can do anything you want to it. You can divide it by a number, any number you want. You can multiply it by any number you want. You can subtract any number you want, as long as you do whatever you're going to do to both sides. So if I wanted the x here by itself, what I could do is I could plus 3 to both sides. Because if I added 3 to both sides, on this side, the minus 3 and the plus 3 would cancel, okay? The x would stay where it is. And then I would be left with x is equal to 5 plus 3, okay? Because this minus 3 and this plus 3 cancelled out, but I had to add 3 to both sides, so the 5 on this side, we have to add 3, so 5 plus 3 is 8. So we figured out that x is equal to 8. Okay, the next one is a little bit different. Here I want to find out what x is equal to, but I have 2 multiplied by x, 2x. 2x is 2 multiplied by x equals 8. So I need to get rid of this 2. So what's the opposite of multiplication? We were just talking about it a second ago. The opposite of multiplication is division. So if I divide both sides by 2, what happens? This 2 and this 2, they cancel each other out, and 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. So x is equal to 4. Now, question number 3. I'm going to get all the numbers that don't have letters attached to them. I'm going to deal with them first here. And then I'm going to deal with any numbers that are beside a letter. So here I want to get rid of this minus 4, and I'll have to balance it out. So I'm going to minus 4 from both sides because plus 4 and minus 4, they're opposites. So I'm going to minus 4 from both sides, minus 4, minus 4. They'll cancel each other out. And then I'm left with 7x is equal to 25 minus 4 is equal to 21. Okay, so I've dealt with that number there, and I've had to do it to both sides. So now I have 7x equals 21. Now, what's the opposite of multiply? Because 7x is 7 multiplied by x, so the opposite is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 7. And these cancel out. So I'm left with x is equal to 21 divided by 7 is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. Now, again, I'm going to deal with the number without a letter first. So minus 10 is and then equals 8. So what's the opposite of minus 10? It's plus 10. But I have to do that to both sides. They cancel out. 3x is equal to 8 plus 10, 18. Now 3x, I need to get rid of that 3, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So x is equal to 18 over 3. I'll move over here. X is equal to 18 divided by 3, which is 6. Okay, here I am going to make sure all the x's are on one side, and then I am going to get all the numbers on one side. So I'll actually start the sum over here because I don't have enough space. So what I'll do is I'll deal with the numbers first. So here I want to get the minus 9 away from this side. So I'm going to add both, so I'm going to plus 9 to both sides. Okay, plus 9 and plus 9. This cancels out. So 7x equals 3x. 11 plus 9 is plus 20. All right. So I've just moved the sum over here to the right hand side. Now I need to get the 3x over to the other side. I don't want the x on this side. So I'm going to subtract 3x from this side, but I have to do that to both sides. Okay, so they cancel. 7x minus 3x, that is 4x, and we're left with 20 on this side. And then I need to get rid of this 4, so I divide both sides by 4. All right, they cancel out. X is equal to 20 divided by 4, which is 5. All right, here, in much longer sum, we have to multiply it all out first, and then we'll have to tidy it up. And let's do it. 4 multiplied by 2x, 4 multiplied by minus 3. 4 multiplied by 2x is 8x. 4 multiplied by minus 3 is minus 12. 2 multiplied by 3x is 6x. 2 multiplied by minus 5 is minus 10. Okay, so I'll deal with the numbers first. So I don't want this on this side, so I'm gonna add plus 12 to both sides. They cancel each other out. 8x is equal to 6x, and then minus 10 plus 12 is plus 2. Now I want all my x's on the same side. So I want to get rid of this 6x, so I have to minus 6x here, and I have to minus 6x to both sides. So they cancel. 8x minus 6x is 2x equals, and we're left with 2 over here. So I'm going to get rid of this 2 here by dividing both sides by 2. They cancel. So we are left with x is equal to 2 divided by 2 is 1. I think this week we will focus on solving linear equations. I've left an extra sheet if you want to practice more of these, but that's optional. And then the next day we're going to do more of these, okay? We'll probably spend 2 more classes working on these and using this new technique. And then we're going to be doing more of these, but we'll be using square roots and squareds, and we're also going to be using fractions. So if you don't get it today, don't worry, rewatch the videos that I sent you before Easter. They will help, and do the sums that I gave you before Easter. Contact me if you are stuck. Send me an email, tell me what question you're stuck with, or send me an email with a picture of the sum that you're stuck on, and then I can try and explain it to you. Okay. We are probably going to be doing this maybe till the end of the summer, or not till the end of the summer, but till the end of term. So don't waste your time, okay? Do these sums, work along. They're changing the timetable, so I'm not sure how many maths classes we're going to have a week online. But do it. Don't fall behind, okay? Don't let the mess of this year affect you in 6th year next year, okay? Do these sums. It's not a lot. 30 minutes a day of maths, or even every second day, and it'll really stand to you. Let me know if I can help in any way. Okay, see you.